Elderberry propagation. Propagating elderberries from cuttings. We are picking elderberries here in northeast Florida, and that also means it's time to prune elderberries and propagate elderberries from cuttings. I am making this video for all of you, but also for my dad, because he has elderberries everywhere around the farm, but he keeps on telling me how they're not thriving, and I keep on telling him it's because he's not pruning them. Elderberries need to be pruned to keep on producing and to not die back. I have been picking elderberries since I could walk. Every fall we would go out and pick the elderberries, and my mom would make elderberry soup. And now, even though I'm in a very different growing zone, I make elderberry juice every year, and we freeze it and we turn it into ice cubes, and then we put it in our teas, in our smoothies, because honestly elderberries do not taste very well. They are sour and they have to be cooked, because a lot of people have very sensitive stomach to them, and even if you eat them raw, they're sour. They don't taste very good. We've tried it. When we spotted elderberries in our neighborhood, the first thing I did was go out and get us a really nice juice pot, just like the one my mom had. Even to this day, my dad still makes elderberry soup every year. Elderberries are amazing healing plants, and they are gold to have in any food forest, in any garden, in any orchard. They also attract pollinators. They attract bees. Before we continue, I want to thank you for watching and for supporting us. Every time you hit that like button or subscribe, whenever you share the video, save it, or even just watching it to the end, that helps our YouTube channel grow. And when you do that, you help us get a little bit closer to a dream of expanding the Nancy Treats Family Farm. And we can't wait to take you along on a journey. It is exciting. The future is very exciting, and a lot of changes are coming. So stick around, hit that subscribe button. It's going to be quite a journey. We have this really tall volunteer elderberry that has decided to grow in the middle of a blackberry bramble. It was a little tricky to get in there and pick them, but it is just growing amazing in here. See, there's still some up top, but you can see that we have cut some of the elderberry down already just to make it bush out more. We would want to cut it even lower if we could, but we just can't get in there because of the brambles. But you see, you make a cut right above two leaves, and that will make it bush out more. You can see we've done two other cuts. You see we've cut down a whole bunch of branches. We're picking up elderberries, and then you can see a branch, just pull off some of the leaves and put it aside. The leaves will fall off anyway once you put the cuttings in the ground, so you might as well just pick them up, put them in compost. Just leave a few in the top. See, here we have a little bit of elderberries left. They kind of picked over. We kind of forgot about them. Not good. We need them for our elderberry juice. Again, just strip the bottom leaves. Another cutting. You can make your cuttings as small as this. Right here, that's enough. Or you can make them longer, it doesn't really matter. It really depends on how much material you have. But just leave a couple leaves at the top. Cut this little branch off when you pick the elderberries. Here's a long one. Just cut off the elderberries. Put some green on there, that's alright. I'm taking a look at this one. It's too big. Cut it right here, make a smaller cutting. work on this one. So you cut this part up there where you cut the elderberry. I'll cut it right there. See, there are even more cuttings right here. You don't need all these. You just need a piece. That node is going to go under the soil. See, this one's way too big. I'm just going to cut it in the middle. Leave this like that. Take these leaves off. These are gigantic, these elderberries. See. Every time you make a cut, it helps them bush out. These are the elderberry cuttings that I made out of the few branches we just cut down. There's a lot. We gotta find a space for them. When you're looking for a place to put your cuttings, put about a foot apart if you can. Somewhere where you get a lot of water, maybe some standing water once in a while, as long as it's not all year. And all you need to do is just stick them down in the ground, just like that. The more sun you can give the elderberries, the better production you get. And that's it. If you don't have rain in the forecast, make sure to water. But they will take in no time. They will lose some of the leaves, that's fine. Just let them. We made a row of new elderberries right here in the front of the property. Give us some privacy. And it's also an area that we didn't really use for anything, so that's perfect. This area floods a little bit when we get a hurricane. You get sun in the morning. Perfect to grow more elderberries. Elderberries like full sun. The more sun you can give them, the better. Even in the southernmost growing zone. Elderberries grow in zone 3 to 9B. And here in 9B, we are amazed to see just how well they do. We planted some in part shade thinking that it might be too hot for them, but they thrive in full sun, and I actually think you could grow them even further south. I have heard of people doing it, but here in 9B in northeast Florida, they are thriving. So are they where my dad's farm is in zone 6B. They are a very easy to grow fruit bush that can adapt to many different conditions. It is mid-July in northeast Florida, and we are at the last pickings. You can see the birds have already been here. These are full sun elderberries. Before you start pruning, just pick your elderberries. It's a little cloudy, which is a good thing, because otherwise this area gets really, really hot. Today's elderberry harvest. Aren't they pretty? Ready to be juiced. Now, because we only get a little bit at a time, we freeze these until we're ready to juice them. So here you can see a branch that actually was cut down because we wanted to prune it and make it more bushy. And I'm going to show you exactly where to cut. First, I'm going to cut off the elderberries. You cut it off right here. We have a couple of green ones left, but that's okay, because if you don't pick them now, the birds will get them. Now, unfortunately, we've got a couple of green ones on here. If you don't have a lot of elderberries, you can just take this one in and put it in some water in a window. We have another one here. Just put it in a glass of water in a window where you get lots of light, and they will change color. At least some of them will. When you make the cuttings, the first cutting I want to make is up here, because this is where I picked the elderberry, and you can see it already shot up 2 branches. So I'm looking at this branch that I cut off, and I can see that I can actually get a cutting down here. I'm going to make the cut right above those 2 leaves because they will likely send out new branches. So I'm going to make the cut right here. And then I'm just going to cut it right here. And above these 2 nodes, above these 2 leaves, I should say. There, see, now we have a really nice cutting right here. I'm going to cut right here. We don't need anything down there. This one I'm just going to take off. So now we have a really nice cutting right here. 2 branches. This one, I'm just going to strip all the leaves there except for the top leaves. It might lose those leaves, but then it's likely to get new leaves. Right here, I'm going to strip them again. Strip all of these leaves. I'll leave these up here just to see what happens. Here we have another branch we're going to use. I actually don't like this little step right here, so I'm going to use that to root. Just going to cut it right here. Strip off these. So all of this will actually be below the soil. Strip all these. If you want to start cutting some pots instead of directly in the ground, you can easily do that. Just make these cuttings. You can even strip them of all of their leaves. It won't matter. They will still root very well. And you don't need any rooting hormone or anything. You can just stick your cutting in a pot with some firm soil or compost. We have some compost wood chips right here with compost below it. And you can even take all of the leaves off if you want to. They will still grow. When you root elderberries from cuttings, you can root them without any leaves at all. That's fine. They will come back. I like to leave some leaves on, but they will start looking like they're dying. They will wilt. Don't worry about it. They will come back. Just make sure that they're moist. Make sure that they're wet. And if you don't get any rain, make sure that you water. Place your pot somewhere in the shade and leave it there for a month. 2 months, you will have very well rooted elderberries. No rooting powder needed. I wanted to show you that you can definitely root elderberry cuttings without any leaves on. We do that quite frequently. The reason why I leave the leaves on are really because it just makes it easier to see which way is up and down when you have a lot of elderberry cuttings. If you want to do them without leaves, it is perfectly fine. When we do remove all the leaves on our cuttings, I prefer to make a straight cut at the top and then an angle cut at the bottom of the cutting, because it is difficult to see which way is up and down when you've removed all the leaves. It's just easier just to make an angled bottom cut and a straight top cut. That way you know, because when you're taking lots of cuttings, you're usually rushing to get the stuff in the ground, and whenever you can make it easier for yourself, it's just better. Just like with the other cuttings, all you need to do is stick the cutting in the ground like this. I am putting these cuttings fairly close. I would say when you do put them down where you want them, put them 2 feet apart at least, because you saw how big our elderberries get. These elderberry cuttings, I'm just sticking them in until they're rooted, and I'll move them. I prefer to have a minimum of 3 nodes on each cutting, and then at least have 1 node below the soil. You can have 2 if you want to. It doesn't really matter. These elderberry cuttings will root and you will get more elderberry plants. Once you have 1 elderberry plant, you will also get more, because they do send out root suckers, rhizomes. It's very easy to just dig up these little suckers and move them to where you want. You can see they're out of our elderberry growing area, and I'm probably going to move this one, but it's so easy to do. Elderberries also grow from seeds, but they do need a stratification period or some cold. Here in Northeast Florida, zone 9B, we actually have lots of elderberry seedlings that pop up everywhere. Here you can see one that's popped up right in between a fig pot and a citrus. Here you can see this is what the elderberry leaves look like. Sometimes they'll also have some leaf curl. There's no need to spray it. They'll do fine. No spray needed. No chemicals needed. They'll do just fine. Look at this little lizard on an elderberry leaf. Yeah, you can just find that in Florida. This is a new elderberry, so you can see it has a green stem. Let me show you an older stem so you can see what they look like. Here you can see an older elderberry branch. This is what they look like. So make sure you identify it properly when you're out there looking, so you don't get a poisonous lookalike. These elderberries right here have been in the ground for about 7 years, and they are this tall. But you saw the one we showed you earlier that had self-seeded itself, and you saw how big that was. If you're wondering whether you can grow elderberries in a pot, yes you can, but you will have to do a lot of pruning. This pot has an elderberry in it, but it was never meant to have an elderberry in it, meaning that we were supposed to take it out, but I forgot, and then it rooted itself in the ground, which is fine. If you want to keep your elderberries in a pot, you just got to keep on pruning it low, no problem. You will get suckers. You have to move them to a different pot or give them away to friends and family. You can see this pot right here has actually sent out a sucker, so that's a big difference though. When you grow elderberries in a pot, they will not grow as vigorously as if you put them in the ground. Now take a look at this one. Next to the elderberry in the pot, this is behind our blackberry trellis. It's really not the ideal spot for it, but I'm just leaving it until we figure out what to do with it, until we find a better spot for it. I wanted to show you the difference. This one's the one growing in a pot, and then next to it, there's the one in the pot right here, and then this one right here is the one that goes outside of the pot. A sucker has come up. You can see they come up here right here. Ideally, I should just start taking cuttings from these. This elderberry plant has been neglected, and even a neglected elderberry pot that has never been watered by hand, it's just survived in the wild basically. It is thriving, but here you can see the difference. It is something, isn't it? The other one, the sucker that came later, is actually bigger than the original elderberry pot. You see, we actually have some elderberries on it. Well, hiding. Let's see if I went right there. They're hiding. It's a little cloudy today, but that's not a bad thing in Florida. Here you can see we have elderberries on them. The birds love them, so if you don't pick them, the birds will love them. It is definitely possible to grow elderberries in pots. Just know your limitations. I have had elderberries in smaller pots that have set fruit, and if you put them in full sun, you will get lots of fruit production even when you grow elderberries in pots. Here's another one right here. I gotta do some picking. This is our last harvest of the summer. We have a few green berries left, so we might come out and do it again, but this is the last big harvest really. So in Florida, in northeast Florida, you harvest in July. Sometimes you'll be able to pick earlier, sometimes later. We prune our elderberries down a lot every year. And right now I can't do it because we have a car right here. Hopefully tomorrow, when the car's not there, I can get in and prune these down so that we can shape them, and also so that they can keep on producing more berries every year. You can see we still have an elderberry bloom that has not fully set into fruit yet. And before you get the berries, when they have all these beautiful white blooms, that's truly the way to identify elderberries in the wild. Just make sure that you don't find a lookalike, because they're poisonous lookalikes. So identify them in more than one way before you take a cutting. This is the best way. Find wild elderberries, take a cutting, bring it home to your garden, and start propagating. That is truly the easiest way. That is how we started these bushes in the front of a house, and it is just so easy to do. You can have one elderberry plant and you can turn it into hundreds. You can cut it down almost to the ground every year and it will come back thriving. You just need one elderberry plant to truly create a whole food forest of elderberries. And I honestly dream of having a little field of elderberries one day. Let's see if we can make it happen. If you have any questions, leave a comment and we'll do our best to answer. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the save button, share this video with your friends, and if you're interested in more propagation videos, check out our Make More Plants playlist. And if you go to the main Desert Treetops YouTube page, you will find lots of different playlists. So we hope there's something for all of you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making the world a little greener.